The NWA World Champion AJ Styles said during a radio interview that he prefers working for the Ring of Honor promotion.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because I prefer watching the Ring of Honor promotion.
How dare you suggest that on this here TNA podcast? Upsetting me. Have you done your thing where you watch Ring of Honor from July 2003?
No, I had too much 2022 to watch.
And too much friggin' 2003 TNA to watch.
Yeah.
Styles said that there is a time for wrestling and a time for entertainment, and while he loves working for both promotions, he prefers the competition that comes from working on the Ring of Honor shows.
Yep.
Styles added that he essentially does the entertainment part of the equation while working for TNA, but he prefers performing in front of the ROH fans. Styles said he wasn't sure whether TNA officials have been keeping an eye on Ring of Honor performers, but said they are idiots if they are not, because he feels the promotion features some of the best talent in the world. Styles was also critical of Jarrett for trying to do too many jobs in TNA, jobs as in like literal jobs, not as in losing.
I was going to say, Styles is getting real meta on this radio interview.
When I read this the first time, I was like, oh god, that's a weird criticism that he's thinking Jarrett. Oh no, he just means literally doing too much stuff. Styles said it's difficult for Jarrett to work as a wrestler, booker, and owner, and wishes he would give up one of those jobs. Specifically, Styles says he doesn't want a booking anymore.
I was going to say, well, he will give up all of them eventually.
Meanwhile, Styles labeled Russo as a great guy. Styles also praised Russo for listening to the ideas that the wrestlers
Why that made me go... Sorry, that was an involuntary reaction to that statement.
Just the idea that Vince Russo is a great guy makes you just gag.
I just went... I don't know why that happened. I literally didn't put any effort into that. That was my body making that reaction. I'm sure he's a good guy.
You have to reject the concept of Vince Russo being a great guy at any given moment.
I don't know how that happened.
Styles also praised Russo for listening to the ideas that wrestlers come up with and said he is a pleasure to work with.
For some people, I'm sure he is.
Listen, when you get pushed to be NWA champion, I'm sure you're very happy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're in the good side, you probably love him.
When the dude is making you be featured on every show because you have to stand next to him.
And very occasionally you get to speak.
Jeff Hardy told wrestlers at the Ring of Honor show that he is not interested in working for NWA-TNA or anybody else right now. Hardy said he is focusing on his music career right now and only worked the ROH as a favour to Joey Matthews.
Well, damn, Jeff. Would have been nice to have seen you.
So this, if you were watching July 2003 Ring of Honor, you would have seen Jeff Hardy's
I know of this, though.
now infamous Ring of Honor appearance.
The Willow.
The debut of the Willow, who we will be talking about on this podcast in a very long time.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, just one of the more famous early ROH stories.
I would imagine through the years goes into it in much more considerable depth than we ever could.
They did, because I listened to it.
Yeah, the utter rejection of Jeff Hardy by the fans of Ring of Honor.
And, like, the background politic playing word around that Gabe would say one thing on one side, one thing on the other side of his mouth about it. It's a very interesting topic. I do recommend you go track down that Through the Years episode on it.
The through spelt with an ROH, ROH, the years.
I highly recommend it. It's also how I get a lot of tidbits about NWA-TNA stuff that we may miss.
Yeah, and it's basically this podcast, but for Ring of Honor. Actually, technically, we're this podcast. Anyway, yeah.
We're that podcast, but for TNA.
Yes.
But yeah, it is interesting because, like, I'll listen to it, and it was on one of the shows after, might have been last month even, where they were talking about Raven showing up to Ring of Honor with a twisted ankle, and and I was like, I know where that is, and they were like, oh yeah, they must have heard it on some show, and I was like, I know what show it was!
It happened in a horrible main event.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, despite them not being directly affiliated in any way, TNA and Ring of Honor have always had this kind of connection, huh?
Yeah, all the way up, again, to 2022, where there's a mild Ring of Honor invasion, and the Ring of Honor title is being defended, and Roxy, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, is sitting front row.
Yeah, like, which is why I when I was talking, not about it with you, but with other people, I was like, it seems like this was always kind of a destined crossover to happen, and it's funny, it could have happened many a time over the years, but we finally got there in 2022, the year of just insanity.
And it's interesting how many times it came close to happening in various different ways. Like, 05 is when the companies were closest and, like, almost, like, actively working together. But then, for reasons, stopped.
I mean, you can say it's the Feinstein stuff.
Yeah, it's the Feinstein stuff. And TNA kind of washed their hands of Ring of Honor at that stage. And, like, we want nothing to do with that. And then like 2017 is the other time that they came very close to working together, when there was meant to be a Hardys and Young Bucks program that spanned both Ring of Honor and TNA, but then the Hardys left and went back to WWE and had a very public falling out with TNA. So,
of course, you also had the Destination America era, where they were literally on the same show, on the same network, rather.
not even on the same network, they were on the same night. Ring of Honor was the lead-in for Impact.
Honestly, I loved that era. That was the time where I got back into Impact just because I was watching Ring of Honor, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch both.
Yeah, because it wasn't like an agreement. It wasn't them working together. It
just worked out that way.
Impact did not have an exclusivity clause in their contract with Destination America, and then they were like, hey, let's just get Ring of Honor too, make it a wrestling night.
It felt like a pretty big deal at the time. Because I believe, was it the same night as NXT as well? So you had like the 3 shows all on the same night.
And Lucha Underground. You had 4.
Yeah. It was the wrestling night for a long time.
Yeah, you had 4 of the big WWE shows all just piled in there on a Wednesday.
I honestly, I was always really excited when that happened.